Hello chess enthusiasts, my name is Miha and welcome to my chessrealm YouTube channel. So today I have prepared almost 100-year-old game between two strong but relatively unknown Czechoslovakian players, Karel Opočensky and another Karel Skalička. Okay, maybe Opočensky is more famous because of this Nc3 puzzle, a game he played against another Karel Hromadka. White is on the move and mates in 3. I will tell you the solution in the end, so keep on watching this video. And let's go back to our game. Karel Opočensky had white pieces and he started with d4, d5, c4. The pawn captures on c4 and we have queen's gambit accepted. Queen goes to a4. So white had decided to regain the pawn back immediately. Black plays c6, queen captures on c4, b6, knight goes to f3 and now bishop to a6. Black does not fianchetto his light square bishop and attacks the queen instead. Queen goes back to c2. Both sides continue with the development. Knight goes to d7, g3, rook to c8, bishop goes to c2, e6, white castles king side, and now c5. So black tries to open the c file and attack the queen. If white captures on c5, bishop simply recaptures and develops. White of course cannot allow that. Instead, knight to c3 was played. Bishop goes to b7, so bishop goes back to the long diagonal, and now white plays e4, preparing d5, gaining space advantage and better position. So c pawn captures on d4, knight recaptures on d4, bishop goes to c5, attacking the knight on d4. So rook goes to d1, defending. Now this knight to b5, threatening knight to d6 and also opening d file is quite unpleasant. So a6 was played, preventing knight to b5 jump. Knight goes back to b3, attacking the bishop. Black doesn't want to lose bishop pair, so bishop goes back to e7 and now bishop to f4. And white has completed with the development and also castled, and with this open d file occupied by the rook, white clearly has an advantage. b5 was played, threatening b4. You can see that knight is pinned, so white plays queen goes to e2. Now queen is out of the pin. Naturally black wants to complete the development with knight to f6, but immediate knight to f6 is met with e5, and then both a knight on f6 and bishop on b7 would be under attack. If bishop captures on g2, that wouldn't help. E-pawn captures on f6, attacking yet another piece, and here white would end up with a piece up. Okay, so in the game, queen to b6 was played. Bishop on b7 is now protected. Knight goes, so knight to f6 is coming, so white has to act fast or loses the initiative, and white indeed striked with a stunning move. Knight goes to d5. Queen is under attack. Now queen could have easily retreated back to d8. White would of course still be better, but black, however, didn't consider this sacrifice to be sound, so e-pawn captures on d5 was played. E-pawn recaptures. White threatens with d6 because bishop on e7 is pinned, so king goes to f8 out of the pin. White continues with d6, attacking the bishop. Bishop, of course, cannot go back to d8, because after bishop to d8, then bishop to e3, and the queen is pinned. So, in the game, bishop to f6 was played. White continues with bishop to e3. Again, all squares are taken except for d8, but after queen to d8, bishop on b7 is no longer protected. So instead, rook to e8 was played. If bishop captures queen, then rook captures queen. Still maybe white should choose this option as he would be a pawn up. However, white plays a very daring move. Queen goes to d4, attacking the knight, but black doesn't care and captures bishop on e3. Now white has to be careful, because this is a very complicated position. If f-pawn recaptures on e3, then knight goes to e5, and suddenly white loses the initiative, and black has two pieces for a rook and would be better. So in the game, queen captures knight on d7. Bishop on b7 is twice attacked, so black gets rid of it. Black plays bishop captures bishop on g2, but white doesn't immediately recapture. Instead, a rook from a to c1 was played, with clear intention to deliver a backrank mate. Now g6 would definitely be a good option, creating an escape square for black king. Then white would probably capture bishop on g2. Black would still be a piece up, but this position would be very complicated, with king stuck in the corner with his undeveloped pieces and white with fully operational pieces. Anyway, in the game, rook to e8 was played, reinforcing the last rank. Now rook goes to c7, threatening mate on f7. So black plays knight to h6, defending f7 square. And now white finally recaptures bishop on g2. And here was the last opportunity for black to play g6, creating an escape square. Black would still be a piece up, but like I said, the position would be very complicated. Black saw the things otherwise. Rook to d8 was played, attacking the queen, but white doesn't care. Knight to c5 was played. Yet another great move. Of course, if rook captures queen on d7, then knight recaptures, forking both king and the queen. Well, let's see, after, let's say, king g8, for example, then rook to c8. Black has to defend the check with queen to d8. And then knight goes to f6 check, g-pawn recaptures on f6, rook to d8 check, king to g7, rook to h8, king to h8, and white is winning. If, for example, black doesn't capture the queen and plays a random move, let's say a5, then we have clearance, queen captures on d8, bishop recaptures on d8, and knight to d7, again forking the king and the queen. Well, here king has two options. After king to g8, knight captures on b6. Bishop can capture rook on c7, but after d-pawn recaptures on c7, white is winning. And after king to e8, we have mate in a couple of moves. Rook to e1 check. Bishop can only defend on e7. Rook captures on e7. King to d8. Knight captures on b6. And mate is unavoidable. So in the game, king to g8 was played, avoiding this fork with knight on d7. White continues with rook to e1, again threatening with a backrank mate. Rook, of course, cannot capture on d7 because rook to e8 is mate in 1. But here, black had a chance to save the game, and the correct continuation would be g5. After g5, black creates an escape square on g7 and g6. You'll see later why is that important. Black, however, misses the chance and instead g6 was played. And now we have mate in 3. Mate in 3 starts with rook goes to e8, check. If rook captures on e8, queen to captures on e8, king goes to g7, and knight to f6 is checkmate. In the game, after rook to e8, king to g7 was played immediately, and knight to f6 was checkmate. Okay, now let's go to the puzzle from the beginning between Opočensky and Hromadka. White is on the move and mates in 3. Mate in 3 starts with rook captures bishop on d5 check. Black has no other option but to capture the rook with the c pawn. And now knight goes to d3, another check, and again black has no other option but to capture the knight with the e pawn. And now f4 is checkmate. So I hope you liked this game and this chess puzzle I have prepared. If you have any questions, my email is below in the description. Of course, I invite you to visit my Instagram page. That's it for now, and see you soon.